I can keep up with this guy off the line? Short answer, no. As expected. The sky is blue. The sky is clear. There's no rain. A little damp in some places, but who cares? I wanted to get out and ride. It's been over a week. We had three thunderstorms back to back with hail. I don't think it's clear. Holy! So now it's nice to finally get out and just see how this performs, how the brakes handle, how the acceleration handles, how the chain feels, everything. The first thing I noticed with all these changes that I did was the chain. The stock chain was very stretched out, even in just the 400 miles or so that I've done. And you could feel that from a standstill when you go off the line, that there was a hesitation, almost like a clunking feel. I was worried a little bit at first because I thought it was the clutch not engaging properly, but after I put this new chain on and gotten it tightened up to where it should be, it feels perfect. There's no hesitation, there's no clunk. It's great. All right, we got ourselves an empty parking lot. Let's do some acceleration and some braking. We'll test out how the drive's doing, how the brake's doing. Just get an overall feel for the thing. And brake. Oh, I locked it up a little bit. Braking. 33, 34, 35. 3, 2, 1, stop. Nice. So I got a car next to me with a red light. Now let's see how the acceleration is impacted with that extra tooth up front. See if I catch up or keep up. Not bad. Kept up with the Audi. Yeah, it definitely feels like it takes a little bit longer to get from gear to gear, but it's not horrible. It's actually more what I would have expected. With the 15 tooth, it just felt like it got there too quickly, like I was running out of steam. But this kind of lines it up a little bit more. A more gradual increase. We're getting a fairly level grade here with a higher speed limit. Let's see what our top speed is in 5th gear. If I remember correctly, with the old setup, it was about 40 or so. Like 38 to 40. At 6,000 RPM, so we're at 6,000 RPM right now. It's fairly level, and it's a little bit higher, 41. Small improvement there. I wasn't expecting anything major. Beautiful day. Tunnel. Doesn't sound that great with the stock exhaust. It's got a little bit of a rumble at the bottom, but I will fix that. I have an exhaust that's coming up after I get 600 miles down and I get through the initial service and everything. After that, we're gonna put on a decat, so we're gonna cut the pipe and then really let this thing sing. It's a amazing on these small bikes what a difference stainless steel braided brake lines can do, especially for the non-ABS models, because the stock rubber on the brake lines is elastic, you know, it's rubber. So when you apply hard braking, sometimes that fluid will push out against the brake line and you lose that pressure down at the caliper where you really want it. Stainless steel braided brake lines are much tougher, obviously, so they don't allow for that expansion. So when you apply the brakes really hard, all that fluid's going straight down to the caliper to pinch the rotor. And on small bikes like these, with the weight that they have, it makes such a difference. I wish it was easier to visualize how good these brakes feel. I think probably the easiest would just be to tap the brakes. So if I just tap the brakes, you can see just how grabby they are. Now that the brakes and the sprocket are done and feeling great, the next thing, I'm getting really close to 600 miles, which is the break-in period. I'm at about 450 right now, so in the next video I should be able to do its 600 mile service. What I have to do there is an oil change. I have to check the valve clearances to make sure they're still in spec, and I want to check the timing, and I have spark plugs, a couple other just maintenance issues that I want to cover, make sure everything's all good. Then I can get into the fun stuff like the exhaust. I want to get a cam for this, and I think I can do some kind of DIY intake as well. I can keep up with this guy off the line. Let's see. Short answer, no. As expected. Well, that's mini bike life. You can't win them all. Excuse me. So here concludes another successful modification or upgrade. I'm really glad that we got the compatibility here between the Honda Grom part and the Benelli part, because the Honda Grom has such a bigger aftermarket, and there's so many manufacturers, there's so much in terms of products and resources, that I'm glad that I can use some of that and transfer that to the Benelli, because the Benelli kind of lacks in aftermarket right now. I'm going to continue to look at the Honda Grom compared to this and see if there's anything else that can translate that I can utilize. But for now, I'm super happy. So with that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.